monogamy and isn't normal. Non-monogamy isn't normal. Variety is normal. So there are always going to be people who want lots of sex with different people, no sex at all. We're on a continuum. So I think that's why it's important to have this discussion in mate selection. If you've got one person that sex is the driving force of their life, and they basically would like to have sex every day, and you have another person who thinks seasonal sex might be nice, spring, summer, winter, fall, then that's going to be somewhat of a difficult collaboration. I'm not saying it can't work, but one person is there. You have to get realistic about the partner that you have, because sex drive is basically biological, and it has to do with your DNA and your hormones, and it's somewhat your upbringing. For the most part, though, we've all been issued a sexual hand of hormones at birth, and it's going to pretty much determine what type of arousal and sexual desire, and a lot has to do with your sexual experiences. So you have to decide what's realistic, what's best for the relationship, and if neither person wants sex and you're not having sex, no problem. Except for this, sex does delineate a romantic relationship from a friendship. Now, but we know that compatibility is the driving force of relationships. But without sex, it's hard to separate this relationship from an erotic relationship, and oftentimes, especially if one person is a lot less interested than the other, it can make you very vulnerable to the sexy person at work that sits next to you 5 days a week and sometimes on weekends. And that void, nature abhors a vacuum, and something can easily slip in and fill it, and it makes you vulnerable to outside stimulation. And people will tell you that when sex is going well, it's probably 10% of the relationship. But when it's not going well, it becomes 90%. So it's really important to be able to say honestly, to know who you are, to know what your sexual set point really is. That, as I mentioned, I believe that's determined at birth. And you probably know, if you look at your life and take out all those falling in love experiences and secret romances, if you take those out of the equation, you probably know if your sexual desire is low, moderate, or high.